So, uh, do you like Halo?
It's all right.
All right.
I
Well,
mean, mediocre.
that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Be sure to check out my podcast and Discord. Fucking Halo Infinite gameplay
Yeah, it
reveal.
came out.
It was pretty all right. It was pretty cool. Pretty, you know, textures
It
didn't look
was
textures
it
didn't look
was
too good.
something. We got Craig. We got a brute.
We did get Craig. Craig was the best thing to come out of Halo Infinite. I think everyone can agree.
Okay, we haven't really discussed. We've saved it for this video. What
Oh
our
yeah,
thoughts are on this game, but so I'm just gonna
for
ask
sure.
you. I'm gonna ask the big question. What are your general thoughts on Halo Infinite?
All right. Well, for me to do that, first we have to talk about uh Confucius. No. But for real, I feel like I should start by saying that, just as a preface, because I don't even know if I have any Halo content on my YouTube channel. However, huge Halo fan. Been playing it
Mhm.
since it came out on the OG Xbox. When I was watching my brothers play with their friends and me begging to have a turn, and then never getting a turn, and then whenever they would like go in the garage to smoke drugs, I would sneak on and play in like a in a split screen lobby all by myself, and I would find the other controller, and then I would just like kill the other controller over and over again, and then they would come in, and I would like run away and hide under the pool table, and it was really epic. Well, yeah, so that was like my first experience with Halo. Loved it. I was a little kid. I don't know how
I
old I
feel
was. I
like
was probably like
yeah,
6.
Halo's one of those games that just kind of it was revolutionary for the genre, and I think everyone kind of shares those nostalgic feelings that you have
Oh,
towards it.
yeah, no. So that was my shitty way of saying I've been playing Halo since it came out.
Right.
However, fucking Halo 1, absolutely revolutionary game for the first person shooter genre on console. Like, if it weren't for Halo, who knows how many years we would have had to have waited until we got like a good, like a well optimized first person shooter on
Well, like
console.
each main entry of the series, I mean Halo 1, 2 and 3, like they
Oh my god,
revolutionized
yeah.
in one way or another.
100%. I completely agree with that. Would you say that Halo 1, just as a basis, like Halo 1, like revolutionized first person shooter games on console with a controller,
Oh yeah,
optimized
because like
buttons?
right, because like before that, I mean controlling first person shooters on consoles was almost non-existent.
Yeah,
I mean, you had like what was it? You had GoldenEye,
yeah.
but
Doom and
I
shit like that. Like,
but games like that you had, just like on the control side of things, you had uh
extreme auto aim.
extreme aim assist.
Yep,
Yeah, so I mean Halo just like revolutionized things when it came to just control.
yep.
Like people played it for the first time and were like, holy shit, this feels good.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then as for Halo 2, I would say multiplayer. Would
Oh,
you agree
for
with that?
sure.
Yeah.
I, Everyone remembers Halo 2 for its multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, when people think of like Halo 2, like the launch of like Halo 2, people like okay, for me, for instance, okay, not just launch, but like there's a million things my mind goes to, but I think of like there's like just all those YouTube videos of people going to the midnight release, and like I think
Mhm.
even one of the videos, everyone's probably seen it. There's like a video of this guy who is recording like with his friends, and they're like preparing to go to the midnight release, and before the midnight release they're like fucking, they got like all like their shit set up in like their rooms and stuff, like to play like
I know
LAN together and
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly the video you're
I'm
talking
pretty
about.
sure
Yeah.
that's Halo 2. I don't think it was 3, but
Actually, no, that was 3.
was it 3?
Actually, yeah, it was
Okay.
3.
Well, then I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know anything. However, Halo 2, the fucking all the like I remember seeing all the fucking like news articles about Halo 2, like the
It was a
biggest
big
game
deal.
of the century. Yeah, like people were freaking out. Like it was all over the news. There was these crazy like not riots, but like as much of a riot can be for gamers. So just a bunch of fat sweaty nerds like, "Oh, we're waiting in line for Halo 2." It's like it was that kind of shit. So, fucking just it was a big deal, Halo 2 coming out, and like I think the
then-
reason why it was such a big deal, like if it was just a single player game, it wouldn't have been that much of a big deal. Like Halo 1 was loved for not only its gameplay and the story, but it had a multiplayer aspect to it that like nobody expected to be as good as it was.
And then Halo 2 built upon that and brought it to Xbox Live and
Yeah.
created a party system and just created it created a lot of quality of life features that we probably take for granted
Oh
today.
yeah, dude. The partying up system and everything like that, how you meet people in
So-
lobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah, Halo 2 just revolutionized multiplayer, and then Halo 3, I think it's fair to say Halo 3 like it almost became the G mod of consoles with its
Yeah.
Forge and community settings.
Yeah,
So-
there was a shitload of like community friendly, like user friendly shit with the file share. Like you could just you can make game modes, you can make maps, you can post screenshots all with like the press of a button, and like it was very easy to like get recognized on there. If like during its heyday, of course, it was easy to like put shit on there and have people see it.
So yeah, like each main entry title just it revolutionized in one way or another. So and from that we come to Halo Infinite. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, I'm I gotta be honest. I was kind of underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I guess not to keep going on tangents that aren't about Halo Infinite, but like to go back, like Halo 4, for example, like I was like in my hardcore Halo fanboy phase during Halo 4, so I was just so excited to get a new Halo
Same
game,
here.
like mainline Halo game with Master Chief. So when it came out, I wasn't one of those people who like hated Reach for having like all these different things. Like I actually really liked
All of it.
Reach when it came out.
Spartan abilities, yeah.
Yeah. So like whenever 4 came out, I think 4 was like a little too much for me as far as like all the changes and stuff. However, like the art style changes were very
Yeah,
like
no, it was very jarring. It
Yeah.
was and it seemed completely out of left field. And I'm one of those people who there's a special place in my heart for Halo 4's story, and like it hits and misses on some beats, but I admire the heart that is in that game's story. It's not Halo fucking 5 at the very least. And
yeah.
I was the same way during Halo 4's release. In fact, I got into Halo. I'm still relatively new to Halo. I mean,
Yeah.
well, actually, not really, because I mean it's nearly a decade. And it's kind of
Right.
depressing to think about, but
yeah.
but but I generally got into Halo around the time of Halo 4's release. I was playing Reach and all that, and but I agree. Halo 4 was jarring in how much it changed, especially in its multiplayer.
yeah.
But I'm sorry. Did I cut you off on your point you were gonna make
No.
as you were relating it to Infinite?
No, you're fine. Yeah, I'm getting there because like 4, I basically. Oh God, I'm dying. I'm getting choked up over Halo. 4 though, like I was all right with it at the end of the day. Like to give a quick overview, I think Halo 4's fine. Don't care for the art style changes, obviously. I think the plot is fine. I just think it's kind of rushed a tiny bit. Like the love story between like Master Chief and Cortana, just kind of like there's like hint. I like how it is done in Halo 3, where like there's like these hints of it in Halo 3, and then like, or rather hints of it in Halo 2, and then in Halo 3 it's like, oh yeah, he clearly like they have like a connection, and then in 4 it's like I'm in love with you. I want to marry
I'll
you.
have to save my debate with you on Halo 4's story for another day, but because I actually disagree with you a little bit on that.
Do you like it like a lot, or do you?
Well, I disagree on the idea that it's a love story in a sense.
I don't think it's a love story. I just mean that the
Well,
their relationship
yeah.
takes like a front seat to the story.
I agree, and okay, so I see what you're saying, but and the explanation they gave for that, while I don't think completely justifies it, makes some sense to me. They said ultimately for Halo, for Master Chief's demeanor to change and his overall composure to break down, there needed to be a thematic reason for it,
Mm-hmm.
and that reason was Cortana's rampancy.
Yeah.
And for me, that made sense. That forcing Master Chief out of his comfort zone almost of what he
Yeah.
was used to in the past games, uh, of it changing him in a sense and like breaking him down. I kind of admired that idea, and I can sympathize with the idea that it was rushed because it was. I think Halo 4, it was one of the shortest campaigns in the
Mm-hmm.
series without a doubt. So I think pacing is kind of an issue, but I
Right.
think conceptually, Halo 4 has a lot of great ideas there.
Well, I agree. I think tentatively I agree with that. It's just I I would have liked it just be, I guess if it could have just been a little longer, I guess they could have
Right. I
maybe explored the like cuz like Chief is so stoic and he doesn't say much. So whenever he does have like these emotions, it's kind of like, oh no, like it's not oh no, but it's like, okay, this is like a little foreign to me because
This is
like
different than what we're used to. Yeah, they could
yeah.
have. I think they could have like naturally progressed into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but not to go on another tangent.
No, go
But
ahead.
oh no, I was just saying. I was like, we should probably stop on the tangents. Get to infinite.
Yeah. No, I agree. I the reason why I bring that up though, the whole reason why I bring that up is because overall, I was fine with Halo 4. I didn't
Right.
hate it. In fact I liked it. I didn't hate it in any way. And then obviously 5 came out. I don't even need to talk about 5. Fuck Halo 5. That game is a fucking abortion. Here's what I'm saying though. In Infinite, as far as the gameplay looks, in my mind, it looks like an amalgamation of like a bunch of different Halo games, and it mainly looks like Halo 4 gameplay with like this new like like modern first person shooter type like look like with like the movement and stuff like that. Like they got rid of like the Halo 5 advanced movement system and whatnot, but like
They got rid of. I actually predicted this. I thought
yeah.
before they released the gameplay, I was like, okay, they're going to keep sprint because we already know that this is most likely going to be a more open world-ish type game. So they're going to keep sprint. They're going to keep things like clamber and
Mm-hmm.
slide. Those were the things I thought they were going to keep, and I was right because those are just kind of quality of life traversal mechanics that in a game like this, in its setting and its open world, I figured they were going to keep it just for quality of life's sake. And ultimately, I think I was one of those people who was like, God, if Sprint is in this game, I'm gonna be really sad. And when he started sprinting, my balls like receded back up into my stomach. But like, cause like, I mean, that was like my knee jerk reaction to what I saw in the gameplay. I mean, like, I was kind of taken aback. I was like, why does this look like Minecraft? Why are there no textures on the assault rifle? And
Yeah.
like there was a lot of things that kind of took me back, and when I initially saw it, I was extremely disappointed. In fact, I almost hated it.
Oh,
And
okay.
um again, that was my knee jerk reaction. Then I watched it. I watched because like I don't know what it was with their live stream because it just kept buffering.
Oh yeah.
Like their presentation was an absolute failure.
Yeah, the stream was definitely fucked up.
Yeah, and but once I had time to like get my balls out of my stomach, rewatched I rewatched it a couple of times and I read some articles on what they're trying to go for conceptually with this game, and they keep using spiritual reboot as a description for the game.
Yeah, that was a lot of
And
people's theories too, leading up to the gameplay reveal.
yeah, and I can see that in this. I can. It seems like what they're going for is almost an amalgamation, like you said. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what they're trying to do is take the best aspects of every game and try and pour it into this one.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. It's one of those things where like I think the gameplay heavily reminisces of Halo 4 with like the best parts that are of Halo 5's gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, because that's basically what Halo 4 is like a more Halo version of like Halo 5. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, they don't have the advanced movement and all that stuff, and it doesn't. Now, we don't know this, but it doesn't seem like there's ADS like how ADS is in 5. There's a zoom in. Like, he zooms in on a scope at one point, but we don't know.
Well, I would assume because in Halo 5 they switched up the control scheme to the where it was LT for ADS. It was like traditional first-person shooters.
Yeah.
But if you look in the gameplay, LT is back to grenades.
Grenade, yeah. They had the Halo. A lot of people. I saw people saying that they were like, "Oh my god, Halo 3, a control configuration." People were like, "Oh yeah, but you can just switch the control configuration." But it's like, I don't think they would do that in the demo. I think it's just that's probably the default. I would assume is what they had in the demo.
I have a feeling with all the blowback they got from Halo 5, they're trying to get this right.
Yeah. I guess before because I was gonna say like I agree, and I think that I think the story's probably gonna be good. Like,
oh, I am sure, because like, didn't you hear that they actually completely scrapped the story that they had for Halo 5, and they in the middle of development and that's why we haven't gotten like this game is 5 years in the making, is because they completely rewrote the story because of the blowback that they got from Halo 5 story. And I just got to say, thank fucking God.
Yeah, I mean, and that really does explain some of the shortcomings, I feel like, is like they're clearly like getting their shit together and trying to put some stuff out for us, so it totally makes sense. But going back to like the movement system, like because I know a lot of people were still holding out hope that there won't be sprint and clamber and stuff like that in multiplayer. And like, as far as the single player, I think it's fine, especially with if this map is supposed to be as big as they're saying. Like, you can apparently go through the entire ring. Probably not at once, I assume. I mean, it's probably going to be levels in certain parts of the ring, but whatever.
I've heard them describe it as if you see a place, you can go to it.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Like, especially in certain like levels, like you could definitely like go up to certain mountains and stuff like that, and like there's clearly going to be like a central hub area, so there's probably going to be a way to get to different parts of the ring. I assume
it's going to be a big game. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a big game.
So I think sprint and like different like sliding and clambering, I think that's fine, especially in the single player. Obviously, we don't know. The multiplayer could be different. That would be wild if they did, but like I don't know if they would, but like I don't know. I really don't know at this point. We just don't have enough information yet.
I think the reason why I'm not too concerned about it is because it seems like while those mechanics are in the game, from what we saw of them, they seem extremely toned down from what we saw in Halo 5. I mean,
that's true.
The speed that you're going at in sprint versus like the base speed seems negligible at best. It seems like it doesn't give you that much of a boost. So I'm not too concerned about it. I've kind of become more open to it. I'm just glad that they got rid of all the fucking stupid Spartan abilities that they gave us in Halo 5.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems like this game, like, it's slowed itself down a little bit, which Halo was known for having a slower pace to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the multiplayer. But as far as what we saw, I guess we can go back to that now, finally, after me trying to explain the fucking bullshit with, I guess, how I thought the gameplay looked, at least, was like Halo 4 with like toned down Halo 5 elements, which honestly I think is a good thing. I mean, I didn't like, there's certain things that like I saw that I was a little on, like, for instance, I didn't like care for like hit markers. I don't know why. It's just something about hit markers like takes me out of it. I feel like I'm playing like Call of Duty, like, or something, you know what I mean? Like,
there's some aspects in there that rubbed me wrong.
Yeah, and like the HUD, like when you go to pick up a weapon, there's no like weapon picture again, and like I don't know, it's like, which also, I mean, makes me a little hopeful, because with what we don't have, you get to see the the weapon description or whatever, that makes me believe obviously they're going to go like the Halo 5 route with like having a bunch of different variants of weapons, which I think is fine. I mean, as long as they're varied and they're not basically just reskins that do tiny little different things, like
Yeah, as long as they're basically not because like that was one of the problems I had with Halo 4 was that the Forerunner guns were basically just exactly the same in terms of functionality of the
yeah,
UNSC weapon, except they just look different.
yeah, and you get disintegrated when you die by them.
Yeah,
Super
yeah,
cool.
no, it's really cool. That's really cool.
um, yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And Halo 5 suffered from that as well. I mean, there was like 60 different variants of the battle rifle. Like that's unnecessary. it's
Yeah,
I
no.
I don't know. I hope it's varied because then that'll just make the sandbox better.
Well, from
Which
what I saw, the new weapons they're introducing, they look interesting. They
yeah,
I'm not I haven't there hasn't been anything that's made me raise my eyebrow too much. Not anything along the lines of like Halo 5 with like the 60 different battle rifle variants or
yeah.
the skins on assault rifles or anything like that.
Yeah, like I would be fine with like say you have just even if they don't go this route or whatever, but like if they have like like the UNSC shotgun and then there's like three different versions of that shotgun or something, some like just or like human shotgun and then three different versions of the human shotgun and then that's it. I don't know. I would prefer if they did it that way because I feel like they would make each weapon, unique or
Yeah,
do
because
do
like
different
each
things, give
because
you a
that
reason
was
to use different ones for different reasons or whatever.
right, because that's what the Halo was always about, the sandbox,
Yeah,
and everything had its role in the sandbox. And I think that's something that they're kind of returning to conceptually in this game. Because,
yeah,
I mean, from what I've read on the multiplayer, the little of it that we know about, I'm optimistic because um, they described the grappling hook working differently in multiplayer versus campaign.
right.
They said the grappling hook is going to be something that you actually fight for on each map. So
Yeah,
it will function the same as like fighting for power weapons almost. It's like
yeah,
I love that idea because you have to fight for the ability to be able to traverse the maps easier and get advantages. I think that returning to that emphasis on the sandbox is that's Halo.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. The map control, power weapons, and equipment, one-time equipment usages, which we
The
did
equipment,
see.
yeah.
We did see that in the gameplay, and I'm pretty sure they said, in like their after the gameplay, they talked about like how they want to go back to kind of how the sandbox worked in like Halo 3 in some regard, like how they want bubble shields, deployable
Yeah.
covers, that kind of shit, which I think is great because that just makes the sandbox richer, in my opinion, instead of spawning with an ability that is on a cooldown like fucking Destiny.
How did you feel about them not showing any multiplayer though? I was very surprised by that.
I think people are allowed to be upset. Like
Yeah.
we've waited so long and we got so little. So I think I think it's completely reasonable to be upset with what we got. Um I wasn't too upset just because like I don't know. Like I think I was just so underwhelmed by the whole thing that like I was just like, okay, I guess I'll wait for the next reveal. Maybe they'll show something more. Like we didn't hear anything about Firefight either, which I know like there's a huge community that's like obsessed with Firefight and whatnot, and like we don't know anything really about Forge, I guess, right? So
No, we don't know any. They've only showed off. I mean, like the marketing for this game has been atrocious. I don't know
yeah,
what they're doing.
and
I like they released one. They released the reveal trailer 2 years ago, and then they give us the beginning cutscene a year ago, and then now and just now, a few months before release, we get our first tidbit of gameplay. I don't know what's going on, but like the marketing for this game has just been it's been a failure.
yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a result of the game having to basically scrap what they had and
Oh
restart.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this game is in development hell right now.
Oh yeah, oh they're in crunch for sure. Like they're crunching hard, I'm sure. And I there was they put out one of those like posts on Halo Waypoint. I don't remember the gentleman who put it out. One of the studio heads put it out. A lot of the stuff that was said in it was very reassuring, and like one of the things that they said was the marketing. They said we want to have like a Halo 3 marketing style, like, and then he even called out some of the trailers, like what was the like I love wait shit what was it, the bees one, you remember that weird one, was it I love bees?
Yeah, no, there was this like marketing campaign that they were doing on I think that was actually Halo 2. They had like this link to this website, and it was basically this extremely I wouldn't even know how to describe it, but ultimately, like at the end of it, if you got to the end of it, you got invited to a theater and you were able to play
Yeah,
Halo 2 early. Um, and then they also, I know what post you're talking about. They cited things like the Believe ad campaign of
yeah,
like the things they want to model their advertisements after. And man, I really hope they're able to pull that off in the few months we have left, because I mean, just generally speaking, where we're at in the world right now, Halo
yeah,
kind of seems like the kind of game we need.
I know, yeah,
I mean,
totally.
the whole like if they like really emphasized on the whole discover hope thing, I feel like that's the kind of message the world needs right now.
Oh, for sure, yeah, that would be
And
great.
and if they're really able to tap into that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think they I don't know. I like it'd be cool if they could recapture like the one trailer they have out now. It's literally just like Master Chief's armor. What's that one called? Like Believe or something like that,
It was Step Inside.
or
That was the
Step in,
name.
yeah, Step Inside. Yeah, right. That one's like on the right track. It's just obviously short and there's not too much to it, but like I think ones like that are like on the right track. Whereas like we don't want like Halo 5 marketing because that shit was just false advertisement. Like we
Don't
straight
get
up
me
got
into that,
lied
man.
to in the Halo 5 marketing. As
Yeah,
cool as it
the truth,
was, dude, like the trailers were fucking rad, but like they didn't equate to anything. None of that was in the game. Like
buddy. I hunted the truth, all right.
I hunted for the truth and I was disappointed with what I found. Yeah, I totally agree though. The marketing, like that's a huge part of like Halo's history is just those amazing trailers they could put out. Like fucking ODST had some bangers. That one where the dudes are like standing by like the dead ODST soldier. I can't remember the name of any of these. I should know them, but that's the one where like they're standing by one of the dead ODSTs and like it just shows like the realistic side of like being an
Yeah,
ODST and whatnot.
the more grounded side of the Halo universe. Yeah,
Yeah,
instead of being
it
a
was
super soldier.
super cool. Like they need to
Yeah,
do a lot of shit like that, like to make
yeah,
this
the
one.
live action trailers, because I mean the stuff like that they did, they it ultimately boiled Halo into being like every game that came out was an event, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like ever since we haven't been able to truly recapture that ever since Halo 3.
right.
And I don't know if that's just because the medium is kind of evolving. I mean, we don't really do midnight launches anymore.
Yeah,
So I mean, it is an unfortunate direction, but I mean, like even just generally speaking, Halo does not get the buzz that he used to.
right. I mean, especially after Halo 5, like it's kind of killed off a lot of the fans. Plus the
For good
Xbox's
reason.
shitty launch, the Xbox One's shitty launch, and
Oh, Xbox One was a colossal failure.
fucking Don Matrick, was that his name? That fucking piece of shit who single-handedly buried Xbox. And then the Chad Phil Spencer trying to save it with the most consumer friendly practice I've ever seen in video game history with Xbox Game Pass.
I
Like
don't know, man. It was rough. I mean, it seems
very
like
rough.
everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
100%.
But
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like in the months leading up to this, like we only have a few months left, and we got this very small tidbit of gameplay, and we haven't even touched on the graphics yet, which is kind of like I would say the big elephant in the room.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, I that was one of the things that immediately took me back. I was like,
Yeah, for sure.
oh, what is this? Why does it look like this?
The second that I saw, the second that ship flew over, it seemed like the ship like seemed like it was like missing something, like almost like there was like I don't
Are
know.
you
It
talking
looked
about
like
the Phantom?
yeah, like it looked like the ship was like yeah. Sorry, I probably should have prefaced that.
Yeah, yeah.
The like fucking banished Phantom was like
Right.
it looked like they took the model for the ship and they like clicked and dragged it across the sky. Like it didn't look like it was an actual ship flying overhead. You know what I mean? Like
No, yeah, yeah, no. Its flight pattern was extremely janky, and also it looks like they just took it straight out of Halo Wars 2, and it
yeah.
looks like a fucking Mega Block set.
It's pretty much, dude. I mean, it's strange because like cause when I saw that I was a little like okay, but I was like watching it live and I was like with my friends, so I was like still like a little hyped. I was like, oh well, whatever, fuck it, I'll just
Yeah.
keep watching. And then like he fucking gets in the warthog. The warthog looked cool, like the way it
Yeah.
drove and stuff looked like
Oh yeah,
cool.
the physics of it, like
Yeah.
when it landed and it like bounced off the
Oh
ground, like
yeah,
the
looked
inertia
great.
of it, it looked great.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously Master Chief looks great as well. Like
oh, he looks the best he's ever looked.
yeah, I completely agree. Like that's the closest we're gonna get to like those fucking Halo 2 anniversary cutscene like Master Chief quality. And you could tell they spent a lot of time on him. Funny enough, that's the one person you're not gonna see in the gameplay. But like they
Yeah.
spent all this time making him look fucking amazing. Another moment that like kind of pulled me out of it is whenever like okay, so he grapples the fucking fusion coil and throws it at the turret, which is cool. I'm fine with that. It's just I felt like it lacked like some sort of impact on the turret. Like the turret just like loses its shield. It's like somebody clicked the like no shield button and like it just vanished.
Right.
And like and then when he gets in the turret, it's like very like lifeless and very like just he's shooting it and it's like just the lasers are coming out of it and nothing's happening.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it looks like I mean, let's be honest. The game looks well. I mean, it is unfinished, but
Yeah.
like we're very close to launch. But it looks unfinished.
Right.
It like, and this is something that surprised me. Like, yeah, with the whole fusion coil thing, things almost lack impact,
Right.
which is weird because that's usually something 343 excels with is with their like sound design and the way physics work. Like, say what you will about Halo 4 and 5, but I mean the sound design in those games is fantastic.
Yeah, the guns sound very weighty in those games.
Yeah, and so I don't know what the deal was in this demo. I mean, the game is unfinished, and I'm just thinking like, man, all they had to do was just put a work in progress somewhere on the screen, and I feel like that would have reassured a lot of people.
Yeah, I just think they're in just a hard situation just cuz like they're so close to like release and it's just like how do we tell these people we're nowhere near done but like we have to put this out with the new Xbox. Like if we don't, like I mean we can't not. Like it's just
Yeah, that's really what's concerned me is like, I mean, there was actually some stuff that came out recently. This could very well be rumors, but like anonymously some like X343 employees came out and said like they're in extreme crunch right now. Like they're not they're like it almost sounds like The Last of Us 2 what happened with that. And cuz 343 apparently from what I've heard on these posts, take it with a grain of salt, could not be true, but
yeah.
what they said was has a very toxic work environment and they rely upon contractors, people that are not invested in the project, that are just there
Just to
for
get
a
it
paycheck.
done. Yeah, crank it out for them.
Yeah, and like just to get Halo on their resume, you know, people that are not in this project and genuinely care about it, like how it's just an extreme contrast to what you would have saw in like the Vidocs that Bungie would have done. It's like these people clearly care about what they're making,
Oh yeah.
but
Marty
from behind
O'Donnell,
the scenes,
Joseph Staten, like in those
yeah,
videos, they're so passionate about what they're making.
but from what I'm hearing, it seems like there's a bunch of people who are just not in it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate if that's true because it'll reflect in the game for sure.
Oh yeah, it definitely will. and I don't know if it's true, but it could be. But I don't know, man. Like I'm worried because they have to meet that new Xbox release deadline. Because like I'm sure Microsoft is like telling these guys, it's like this game needs to be out by this time. There's no delaying it.
Yeah.
The thing that made me raise my eyebrow a little bit was they said Halo Infinite is going to be our platform for the series for the next 10 years.
Yeah, the live service bullshit, basically. They didn't
Right,
say that,
yeah.
but like, that's basically what it is. I mean, that's immediately what your mind goes to, right? It's like, so what
Destiny.
you're gonna put out like story expansions. I hope to God that's not what they do. Like, I would be fine with them adding to the story, obviously, if this is gonna be the only game they put out. But the thing is like, I don't want this story to end on a cliffhanger and it's like, all right, now wait till next year when this next DLC comes out where you can continue the story. It's like, ah, fuck.
Well,
And like,
I
I
just
don't,
hope this is the end of the Master Chief story because I think like I want some finality to this.
yeah.
Like I don't know. I was concerned when they said that this is going to be like a live service because that almost seems like an excuse for putting out an unfinished game as of late.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% what it is. I think they know that they can't finish it in time, and so that they're going to have to do this thing where they're like, all right, well, we're going to put it out, and it's probably not going to be great at launch, but, like, we have no choice right now. And, I mean, who's to blame for that? I mean, them scrapping the game probably. I mean, we'll see if that was a good thing or not. I'm glad that they did as far as story because they were just going to go like the next game after Halo 5 is what it seems like they were going to do. And now they're completely going against that. And I don't know. I mean, the one big positive to come out of this, though, is the art design is like kind of going back. Like it's a mix mash between a bunch of different Halo games, but they're certainly going back to like the Bungie style with a lot of things. There's
It's
also a
more
lot of things
so
like
recognizable,
343. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, for instance, like the Elite armor and, like, obviously Master Chief's armor. And, like, I don't know, that there's, like, the clip in the trailer where he has the battle rifle. It literally looks like the Halo 3 battle rifle. Like, there's, I don't know. They've clearly, that's one thing that has been positive with 343 as far as, like, Halo Infinite is concerned is that they have actually attempted to listen to the criticism. Yeah. They've tried to, clearly. Like, you could see the result of that in this trailer, in the gameplay and whatnot.
Okay, so just I want to talk a little bit more about the graphics, just a little bit more,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I actually want to delve into some positives because I feel like we've been pretty negative so far. But
I
that's
mean,
okay.
it was a pretty negative event, so I mean, shit.
But no, there are some silver linings in this.
Yeah.
The more time I've had to think about it, I'm actually pretty excited for this game.
Yeah. I think overall, I'm especially right now, I'm in a situation where I'm like, I just want more Halo Infinite just so I know, just so I can like see more. Cause like, I'm so curious. They've got me curious. I'm not like, it wasn't one of those, like, I don't know how anyone can see it who is like even a slight Halo fan and doesn't go like, I'm at least a little interested. Like, I don't know how people can watch it and be like, fuck that, not interested at all. It's like, dude, like if it's open world and like there's like a upgrade system and whatnot, like that could be like really fucking cool if they do it right.
No, I agree. But just a little more on the graphics. So I forgot to mention, apparently the demo was on an older build. I think that's really important to distinguish.
There's a handful of caveats to the graphics, right? Like,
yeah, it's because I believe this build was meant for E3. E3 got canceled, and so I imagine since the whole COVID thing, like 343, like all the devs have started working from home.
yeah.
And so I don't know if they just haven't had the time to get another build because like that made me wonder. I was like, why would you not show a more recent build of the game?
Right.
Like usually they make the games look better than they do on final product.
I know.
But yeah, no, there was this one streamer I saw. She did confirm that it was an older build of the game.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well.
And here's the thing about the graphics. It's almost there. It's almost there. I think it's almost there. I think there's just there's some problems with the anti-aliasing. There's some
Right.
muddy textures. The lighting needs some work.
Yeah.
It mostly looks like it's just polish that's needed, and that is the last thing they do in game development.
For sure. Yeah. Like,
And
there's very slight things that I noticed as well, and like stuff popping in and popping out and whatnot.
right,
I
and
I don't know.
and the game did look better in the 1 minute campaign trailer that they released. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I think that's is that the one where he like used the sword at one point in it?
Yeah, that was the one that had the battle rifle and the sword.
Yeah, yeah. It did.
The
It
game
did look
slightly better.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see until we get more footage on it. I'm hoping it gets better.
Yeah, it's just strange because this is the flagship series for the Xbox, and it's like the Xbox's selling point is like this is going to be the most powerful video game console ever, and this is the like result we're seeing is like just dog shit graphics.
It's almost no, it's not even almost. It is embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, like with how much they were flexing their specs of their new console, like, and the first Halo trailer that we saw was just them flexing their new engine.
Yeah, Slip Space.
Yeah, the Slip Space engine powered by Slip Space. Cortana, the new Slip Space. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I was expecting more, to say the least. I was expecting more than Minecraft 2 footage. But
yeah, like the person who was playing, or rather, just the direction of the demo was a little weak too. Like I feel like they should have showed us like more balls on this game. Like, show me something that like only Halo Infinite can do. You know what I mean? Like, show me some grappling hook gameplay that's fucking like him jumping in the air and like off a ledge or something and grappling hooking onto like a banshee or something and then like jacking the dude out of it and then and then jump and like flying it into something, jumping out of it, grappling hooking to another enemy, like and then doing like the melee or something. Like, show me something that's gonna like blow my pants off when I fucking see it happen. Like, it was just kind of boring. Like they
didn't show anything that really wowed us. There was nothing really out of the ordinary, I would say.
Yeah, it just looked like your basic gameplay. Like, the person playing it didn't really utilize the items too well.
Or they could have just showed us a little bit more story, because honestly, we know very, very little about this game's story.
Yeah, just Banished and Master Chief and
Banished, Chief, and Beard Guy.
Yeah. Where the fuck's Atriox? That's what we all want to know.
All right, but so I want to get into some positives here.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, basically, we're getting an open world Halo game.
Yeah,
it's pretty
wild.
I love this idea. The more I thought about it, because, and from what I understand, it's not necessarily going to be like Far Cry open world. It's going to be more like, we're going to give you this kind of sandbox with multiple objectives in it, like similar to ODST's design. And this is what I mean by like they're lifting like the best aspects from each game and kind of implementing it in this one. They're taking that from ODST, and I'm really excited about that. Like 4-player co-op on a ring with like, driving around in warthogs or aerial vehicles, completing objectives. I mean, like the idea of exploration. I mean, this is what they seem to be lifting from Combat Evolved. I mean, they're really going for that Combat Evolved look.
Oh yeah,
and I love it. I love it the more and more I think about it.
Yeah, I think one of the project leads, again, I don't know the names, and I'm sorry about that, but one of the project leads said, like, the feel that they were going for is the feel that he had, and obviously thousands of others had when they play the second level of Halo 1. Just when you step out onto the ring, this mysterious, strange fucking ring world that like you have no idea about, that you want to explore. and like the way the way that Halo level was designed as well is, I mean, it's like one of the best levels in all of Halo. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny enough, it's in the first one, and like I think that level is like a heavy inspiration for the way that this is going to be like designed, at least, and I kind of love that because that's a great place to start for sure. So I'm just curious how it's gonna like lead up to that. Like, I'm assuming we're gonna get some sort of prologue, couple missions, and then you end up on the ring or something. I mean, we don't know yet, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
And I agree, and I think like they should have showed off something that gave us a little bit more on the story. Because
Yeah,
from and this is a positive, by the way, because from what I've seen so far, I really like.
yeah,
I mean, like, I mean, the villain is kind of over the top and cartoony, but that's what Halo is. Like,
yeah.
the characters are always like that. And I mean, like, you look at the dynamic between Chief and this Marine, and like
Brohammer.
Brohammer, yeah. Uh, but like that brings me back to Halo 3, and uh, because like you saw how much of an impact Chief had on the Marines around him, how he inspired hope in them.
Oh
And
yeah,
it brings it back to this more personal and intimate these more personal, intimate story choices rather than random jargon dialogue that we fucking had in Halo 5. I don't know what they were going for there, but
yeah.
like from what I'm seeing here, like if they're able to capture like, because like I mean the dialogue is infinitely better
Pun
than what we
intended.
saw. Fuck off. But the dialogue is infinitely better from what we saw in Halo 5. I mean,
Yeah, right away. I agree.
I'm digging the relationship that Chief and this Marine have. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he brings life into the story where everyone was a piece of fucking wood in Halo 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even the fucking main character you play as, and no,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Master Chief because he's not even the fucking main character in Halo 5. Fucking
Okay, I if they completely scrap Locke, I hope they scrap Locke. They just don't even
Dude,
mention him by name.
they're just like the first like 15 seconds, like there's like a narrator, and they're like, the Master Chief's lost in space. Spartan Locke died of a heart attack. It's like, yes, thank God, get out of this fucking series. I'm sick of you. We don't have to fucking read 12 novels, 6 comics, watch 2 movies, listen to a fucking 7-episode long podcast to figure out who this fucking character is. We can just have them out of the game, and then we can have nice, easy lore to digest, like fucking Halo 2 and Halo 3 style.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, and they've said this actually. They said we want to create a game where you don't have to have this like extensive 200 IQ knowledge of the Halo universe to understand what the fuck is going on in the story.
Yeah.
And that relieved me so much. I mean, because with Halo 5, I mean, as big of a Halo fan as I am, I didn't understand what the fuck was going on most of the time.
Yeah, me neither.
I
Especially
was like,
this,
who are you?
yeah,
Who are you?
the whole team. I'm like, why? Oh, I'm like, oh, why is Buck here? This is weird. Why is he a Spartan now? I mean, like, you could, I mean, like that shit. Like, obviously, you can like look up and whatnot, but like, it's just like it's a little jarring if you have no idea going into it, and you're like, why is Buck a Spartan? Where's all the what happened to everyone else? Where are the other
Buck
ODSTs?
is Spartan, yeah. Who's Locke? Tanaka? Who are you people?
Yeah, who the fuck? You're just looking around like, the fuck are all you people?
Yeah.
What are you doing in my Halo game? Get out of here!
And Master Chief is barely fucking in it. So no, it's just really refreshing that
Yeah.
they're going in a direction that is more approachable for everyone in the story.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited. Like, I have a pretty good feeling that the story will be good. I'm just worried with this like live service bullshit that we're not gonna get a finished story right away, and that's what I'm worried about. But I agree with
that
you.
would be horrible.
Yeah, I agree though that this should be the final Master Chief. Like he either can die, something can happen. Like I don't know what will happen, but like this is more than likely this should be the final story of. Yeah.
Craig will beat him over the head with a golf club.
Well, Craig wasn't actually dead. Craig just got meleeed, so like he could come back like at the end of the game and he just fucking Last of Us 2's Master Chief. Oh, please no.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you for my shitty internet joke.
You're fine.
But go ahead.
Fuck Last of Us 2.
Fuck that game.
Yeah, I just I hope we get a finished product as far as like the story's concerned. Obviously, the whole game I would love to be finished, but I think that's a pipe dream. I'm sure it's gonna come out and be unfinished in some regard, one way or another. It's gonna be unfinished somehow. But
look, if they just give us like upon release, they give us the full campaign. It's the ending of Master Chief. We get the multiplayer, we get the Forge firefight if that's gonna be in the game. We get everything. And then they actually want to expand upon it in the future. They want to act like the game's actually finished and they want to expand upon it in the future. Then that's fine. That's fine. I just hope that the game is what they intended upon release.
Yeah, I agree. And we need, like I said, we need more as far as like the villain's concerned, because like obviously I got no clue who this guy is. Like I don't even know his name. I know he has a name. What's his name?
Like Escharum or something like that.
Yeah, some weird shit like that. Yeah. First of all, Atriox, that's a Chad ass name.
That
sounds like a Halo villain. Now that's a Halo villain.
Yeah.
even if we get like a Tartarus fucking clone, all I want, I'm not saying we should get that, but all I want is if they're, because like it seems like they're trying to build this guy up. Like he took up like a fourth of the gameplay trailer, just him talking.
He did.
So it seems like they're trying to build him up in some regard. I hope we get some sort of like just like arbiter type character development to make us like give a shit about this villain. Like don't make obviously not like arbiter, because
just like like how compelling of an arc that character had, like because Halo 2 was without a doubt the best narrative in the series.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, I get what you mean, and I'm from the 2 minutes that I saw, I'm interested in him because I find his philosophy and like in the idea that he's excited to fight the chief and that he almost respects him.
Yeah,
I think there's some interesting things they can explore there. Then again, we haven't seen much of him, but you're right, they are building him up, and
some way.
So I mean, I'm interested, but then again, like this just goes back to my frustration with how little we've seen.
Yeah. It would be more interesting if this guy had some sort of like history with the chief, like somehow, but like obviously that would involve some sort of retcon. I don't know, but like, and obviously we don't need that, but like I want to feel something when these two clearly show down at some point. I want it to be like,
yeah, no, I get.
Two
wait,
equals.
You want a story? You want a story where you feel something?
Yeah, I want like two equals. Like I want this dude to fucking like mirror the Master Chief as far as like strength is concerned and like wit, because like, and that's another thing. Like it's gonna be an open world game. We better have like massive scale battles. At least there better be at least one section where there's just a massive scale like vehicles and like flying enemies, flying vehicles, like hundreds of enemies on the field and shit like that. Like, because like
this is where like the idea of the game gets me really excited, because I think like, man, if they're giving us this giant sandbox just to explore, and like I completely agree, we need these large scale battles, something that kind of like it's pushing the envelope, how similar to how Halo 3 did back in the day with its 2 Scarab battle and that one mission.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, just imagine that, like, with your grapple hooks, jumping onto these giant Covenant weapons and shit.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic. That would be amazing.
And, like, you have to imagine, like, because we don't know what the Master Chief, like, looks like when, like, during the events of, like, us playing in Halo 2 and Halo 3, where he's fighting these insane odds. Like, he's literally fighting, like, 100 people, and he's one person himself. Like, you imagine from the outside perspective, this dude basically looks like fucking John Wick in Halo, just like massacring these. Like, I want, like, he can handle those odds, is what I'm saying. Like, I want to see that, like literally, Brohammer's like, oh yeah, well, those odds are crazy. We're outnumbered. It's like Master Chief's like, dude.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's like, you
all
think
right?
being outnumbered is anything new to me? Like, I fought armies by myself. Like, and it's not even like plot armor or anything. He's just that fucking good, and like that's why I want to see like some. I'm not saying like Chief versus 1,000 enemies. Like, obviously the Marines are going to be involved in some aspect. I love that one picture, by the way. It's Master, like, there's a bunch of Marines like carrying like supplies. I think and then there's like 2 Marines carrying like struggling to pick up 1 box, and then there's Master Chief carrying 4 boxes by himself, like like the same box they're carrying, but he has like 4 of them. I love that image because like it makes me think like, you know, the Marines are gonna come to the ring as well, and then they're gonna like establish some sort of like stronghold, and then there's gonna be like a resistance army like that fights with Chief or something.
Actually, if you slow down the campaign trailer, you do see Marines in a Warthog with Chief at one point.
Yeah.
And if you pause at the right moment in the gameplay demo, you can see UNSC strongholds on the map. So they're going to be involved in some way. And so these large-scale battles that we're wanting are definitely plausible. And I would honestly be shocked if they didn't do it.
Yeah. Like, dude, like, how cool would it be if, like, if that gameplay trailer, like, at one point, it just, like that, okay, bad example or whatever, but, like, like, when they show, like, Call of Duty at, like, E3, and then, like, they show a snippet, and then it, like, fades to black, and it says, like, in the interest of time, and then they cut to another part, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It would have been cool if they did that for the gameplay reveal, but when they cut to the next part, it fades open on like this aerial shot of like this massive scale battle. It literally just looks like Halo Wars 2, but then it like zooms into the battlefield, and like Master Chief's like in one of the warthogs, and like he's like in the front of like this, literally what a Halo Wars battle would look like, but you're in the fucking battle as Master Chief or whatever. Like, they should have, because like, clearly the consoles are going to, in this game, are going to be able to handle this crazy shit. It's supposed to be, like, crazy. So, I mean, if we could get something like that, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I think these are kind of like the holy shit moments that the demo was lacking.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, because, I mean, just show something that's going to, like, push the envelope a little bit. Because, I mean, from what we saw, I can completely understand why people were kind of underwhelmed from it.
Yeah, I mean, we basically got like generic sci-fi shooter clone game. Like, that's what we saw.
I'm taking down anti-aircraft cannon. It's like, oh boy, I did that in Reach a fucking decade ago.
Yeah, so we're in agreement on the gameplay being lackluster, just because we didn't see anything crazy. But like, they said they're gonna show more during this next event, and like, I hope to God that they do what we're saying. Like, they try to show something that makes this game stand out from the other ones, that makes this game like, why should I buy Halo Infinite? Give me a reason with this next gameplay reveal that they show.
Yeah, show me why Halo is like, show me Halo pushing the envelope again. Show me Halo like revolutionizing things that we haven't seen before in other FPS games. Like, just show me something.
Show me what this fucking slipspace engine can do that you guys keep fucking talking about but not showing. Show me some massive scale fucking battle. Show me like AI and the fucking wildlife, like they fucking are like fighting the Covenant or something wild. I don't know. I don't want them to show the flood though, because the flood's going to be in the game, and there's going to be some wild reveal like in Halo, like the Halo 1 flood reveal. They're probably going to go for some sort of moment like that.
Oh yeah, it's a spiritual reboot. I imagine they're gonna try and bring like almost like the horror aspect of the flood back.
That'd be so cool.
I think they did confirm that this was on, what is it? Is it Zeta Halo?
Yeah.
And the flood is on Zeta Halo.
Yeah.
So the flood is going to be in the game without a doubt.
I just hope that they make it they do it well. I don't know. I don't want it to be this empty like, oh, it's the flood and they're back. It's whatever. I don't know. Like, I want it to be terrifying.
Who that is.
And like that's another thing. The flood, it should be because like I don't want to like fuck with like the Halo gameplay formula like by having thousands of enemies coming at you at once because then it ruins the engagements of like what certain enemies or specialties are and whatnot. But like there should be at least some form of the flood that's just like this crazy horde. Like especially if there's gonna be thousands of them, like we should get something crazy that's like a nightmare that you need to escape. I don't know. That's just my thought. Like, we shouldn't be, because like if you think about it, if the flood are on this ring, no humans were there, so there shouldn't be like human flood forms yet or anything like that.
Right.
At least until they get infected, which by the way is like the coolest thing in Halo 3 is watching them get infected like live. I thought the first time I saw that shit, I was like, wow, that's cool. I actually saw it happen.
There's this one moment in Floodgate, the mission in Halo 3, where it starts off by you seeing a Covenant cruiser that's infected by the flood crash down, and then you walk down a hallway and you see this Marine get infected. It's cool shit.
Yeah, I want moments like that for sure. If like obviously they're gonna have the flood, but I have to preface it by saying if they're gonna have the flood, make it a memorable entrance. Don't make it like contact. We have flood. It's like great, okay. It's like
I mean, like, I also hope they rework the flood AI in some way to make them more engaging to fight with.
That's what I'm saying.
Because sure. I don't know about you, but like the flood was kind of the weaker points for me back in the original trilogy of Halo games.
Yeah, it was
in terms
just
of like the
zombies running at you, kind of.
Yeah, they just were not as interesting to fight as the Covenant.
Yeah,
and so I hope they can find a way to make them interesting. But you mentioned that they're going to be showing more at another event. Is there another event announced that I don't know about?
I guess this next Xbox showcase where they're gonna show off the rest of the games they have. I guess they're gonna show more Halo Infinite there. Apparently,
do they have a date for it?
I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure myself. It's in a couple months. Okay. I know that, but it's not like in a week or whatever from now. But it's I know it's in like a couple months, and I apparently they're gonna show more. I don't know if it's gonna be gameplay or if they just show a trailer. I don't know, but they need to show something wild to get me riled up. Because that certainly didn't get me too riled up. I was still excited though. Like I said, I mean, obviously, we're big Halo fans.
It looks more like Halo than Halo 5 did. So, I mean,
I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of the shit I saw because I was like, okay, good. They're clearly listening in some regard. That's all that matters.
And one aspect we have not touched upon is the music.
Oh yeah, the fucking music.
The music is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had told me that Marty O'Donnell himself composed it, I'd believe you.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Like,
and funnily enough, I don't know. You've seen his interview with Actman, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So in that interview, Marty mentions that one of his favorite video game soundtracks is from the Ori games.
Yeah.
And the composer is the composer working on Halo Infinite,
which is fucking awesome. And like, I hope, I know they're not working or worked with Marty, at least in any like regard. Like, as far as I'm aware, he's like, they didn't like even consult with him or anything, which they shouldn't have to or anything. But I hope that they like take some of his Halo 3 work and they like, you know, update it or something, do some like remix, remaster type deal. Cause like if this game's supposed to get those Halo 3 vibes, like Halo 3's got some fucking amazing music. Like, give me some Halo 3
gets
piano.
Me every time.
Yeah. Give me some of them Halo 3 piano moments where like,
yeah. And they did include that in the reveal trailer. Yeah. So I'm optimistic.
Right. I want more of that because fucking the soundtrack is like, the soundtrack goes hand in hand with like Halo's gameplay. Like that's how important the soundtrack is in Halo. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. Like,
No, like the music plays a bigger part in Halo than I think people realize.
dude, the flood theme in like Halo 1 is like burned into my brain. Like, I was so terrified when I was a kid, and this like weird fuck. God, Marty O'Donnell's such a genius. I don't know how the fuck he came up with that song, but like, goddamn, it was perfect. Like, that hit the exact feeling that I know he was going for. Like, that was perfect for that moment. Like, there's a lot.
I don't know.
That sums up Halo like in a fucking nutshell, though. Like, every song matches so well with every moment, as far as Halos 1 through 3 and ODST and Reach.
But I mean, from what I've heard so far, I mean, like when the first that main menu popped up and like the Halo theme was playing, but it was obviously different, but it was the Halo theme. I got a little choked up. I was like, this
Halo's back.
I was like, it's back.
Yeah.
And when he's also riding up on the elevator and you're just kind of looking at the large vistas with the cloud popping, but it's beautiful music, so it's okay.
Cloud popping. There's like character models like popping in and out, and it's like, yeah, but the music, it's great. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, the music's so great, but I just have Craig burned into my brain.
Craig, Monkey Man, dude. I'm excited I want, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I want moments where Chief and this fucking villain are like facing off, and I want the soundtrack to like match the intensity of that, and like if there's like if somebody like if fucking Brohammer dies or some shit, the music better be making me fucking cry just as much as the moment in the game, because like
right. And I think that's I think that's something that I hope this game nails and actually improves upon from the original trilogy, because I don't know about you, but besides Halo 2, I would say something about the presentation of the story and its beats to me just didn't land.
Yeah.
I would say like, because like when Johnson died, I was like, man, this is not as emotionally compelling as it should be.
Dude, yeah, I agree. Like, there's parts in Halo 3 where I'm like, man, I wish this was more like Halo 2's story, especially like things like Arbiter. Like, we don't need to get into a whole fucking discussion about what Halo 2 does better than Halo 3, which is a lot of things. But like, Halo 3 has a shit ton of positives, great game. But like, as far as like characters like the Arbiter are concerned, it's just like, it's a little weak, because like Arbiter just takes a back seat. He was such a good character in Halo 2, and then he just takes a back seat in Halo 3, and it's kind of weak.
Which, by the way, Arbiter needs to be in this game.
I know. We're like, they better fucking do something with him, and not like how they did in Halo 5. I need Arbiter to be like a character in this.
It was sinful what they did with him in Halo 5, because I remember they released that like a little teaser with Halo 2 Anniversary right at the beginning, where Spartan Locke is talking to Arbiter, and I was like, why is this like just way better than what we got in the
that cutscene is the best Halo 5 cutscene. It's not even in Halo 5.
It's not even in the game.
It's so funny because it's true though. And like Arbiter, like Keith David still hits that Arbiter voice like perfectly, just like how it happened in Halo 2. Like, it's still great. I need more Arbiter in this fucking game. Or if we're gonna get this fucking live service bullshit, give me something with the Arbiter. Although I want the main story to have him as an important character. I mean, Jesus Christ, if the Master Chief is dying in this one, he should be dying with his bro Arby on the field.
Exactly.
Like, something crazy. They need to reunite and have a fucking moment, because Arbiter has become this crazy badass. Like, he's already a badass, but then we see there's all this off-screen shit where he's like this fucking king basically now, and we don't know anything about it unless you read the fucking bullshit, whatever. But like, show me in the game. Like, I want more Arbiter. Arbiter's fucking great. He's my favorite part about Halo 2.
Yeah, and I think like I can gush about Halo 2's story all day. I mean, it's
oh yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm just hoping they're able to nail this kind of like the story beats and presentation similarly to how they did in Halo 2, because I mean, I don't know what it was with Halo 1 or Halo 3, but the story just seemed kind of muted in those games.
I agree. I think that's a fine take to have. I think people would agree with you on that. I certainly do.
Yeah, and like I can't exactly put my finger on it, but there's just something about where like I don't know. This seems like it's just not hitting the way it should.
Halo 2 is like a fucking crazy, like it's like a movie, like the narrative. It's just
Right.
every cutscene, like you're excited to see the cutscenes because there's always like some good exposition going on or like good character dialogue. Fucking you got every cutscene with the Arbiter is fucking amazing. Shipmaster, they just have like I loved how the Covenant, like how the Covenant's dialogue was in like Halo 2. It was like they were just like this like Night Order, like they, and that's kind of what they are, like the elites to an extent, and like they really nailed that in those cutscenes.
Yeah, no, that they went by some honor code, which is something they seem to be bringing back with this new
The Banish.
brute leader. Yeah,
Yeah.
this new brute leader in his own form, which I was like, good. This is not fucking Warden Eternal, where
Oh,
he's like
God.
simping for Cortana.
Warden Eternal is a simp. He literally is.
Cortana promised me feet pictures.
I made her a high roll in my Discord. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, in a fucking, yeah, like I think they're trying to bring back more character in like the enemies because like, you know, like the fucking shot of the brute tossing the grunt as he like screams die for the banished, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, no, that's that. Like, there's so many things in here, these small things where like, I'm like, man, that's Halo right there. That's Halo.
Yeah.
I mean,
And like,
and
another thing I noticed, again, I haven't played Halo 5 in fucking years, so like I'm not sure if this was a thing that already happened, but like I loved how when he came up on like there was like a group of enemies and there was like jackals, and when they spotted Chief, they like turned their shields on.
right.
I feel like that's never happened in the other games. Like they
think
didn't walk around then turn their shields on. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it did.
I don't remember exactly. I feel like I should because I've been playing a shit ton of Halo recently, but
It's just like a little thing like that though, like because like my mind immediately goes to like Halo 3 and Halo 2. Like if the jackals don't have shields, they just don't have shields. But like I like how obviously if they're just fucking standing at their outpost, they're not gonna just have their shields on. Like they spotted him and then they turned their shields on and like got into like their stance or whatever. I was like, oh, that's cool.
well, that
I dig
reminds
that.
me, this game has a day-night cycle apparently.
Yeah,
So,
and weather
I mean,
apparently
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, and so that makes me kind of think of how like the environment is going to interact and how you're going to be able to interact with it.
This cave is
And
not a natural formation.
No, I was playing Halo 1 the other day, and I swear that is the stupidest line in the entire series.
It's like, dude, yeah, Cortana, I would assume this wasn't natural. There's like fucking like bolts and screws like screwed into the metal. Like, clearly it's not natural.
Not a natural formation.
There's like a fucking cave 20 feet that way that's natural, but this one isn't. It's so funny. It's like, okay, all right, Cortana. Thank you.
Cortana.
That's
you.
the equivalent of in Game of Thrones in season 8 when Arya sees Daenerys blow up all of King's Landing, and then she goes to Jon and she's like, "I know a killer when I see one." It's like, no shit, Arya. No fucking shit. I'm glad you have eyeballs that work. You're not wise.
You know, that actually it's funny you bring this up. We haven't talked about Cortana at all.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And honestly, like I've been thinking about it. What if they just? I know they're not going to, but what if they just dropped Cortana completely?
See, that's the thing though, is like they're not gonna retcon 5, but
No, they can't.
Yeah, but like it feels like they really want to.
Oh, you can tell they want to. Like,
yeah,
like the writers, like, I mean, this is why like we've gone a time jump because like they're like, God, like you can tell these new. I do not envy the position that these new writers are in.
Not at
like
all.
Having to follow up Halo 5 storyline.
Yeah,
like fuck that.
Sounds terrible. Like because Cortana's in a position where it's like you can't not bring her up. Like unless you have this, it would be real bad if they were just like, oh yeah, that whole thing got resolved off screen. It's like she was a god, dude. There needs to be something more than that, because I don't know. It's
I mean, obviously she's going. Obviously, they're not going to write off Cortana. They're going to do something with her in the game. We know this from that trailer that we got. It wasn't actually the trailer; it was the opening cinematic of the game,
right.
where at the end we see Master Chief walking in what appears to be a control room for a Halo ring, and
Yep.
we see him pull out the chip and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to do something with Cortana, but man, am I worried.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know.
Because how do you follow that up? How do you follow that absolute fucking catastrophe that was Halo 5 storyline with Cortana?
They thought they were setting up some like Marvel Cinematic Universe shit, and then they basically got the equivalent of like having Infinity War, and then the fans being like, "This is garbage," and then being like, "Oh no, we need to scrap our Endgame and make a new Endgame." It's like, what do you do? Like Thanos is God now. How do you change that? Like that's basically the situation they're in. Except Infinity War was really good.
At the end of Halo 5, they implied that Cortana was going to detonate all the rings.
Yeah,
that's what they implied because like they had this giant. God, I fucking hate Halo 5 the more I think about it.
It's so bad.
But like they had this I guess they had this AI rebellion, I guess you could call it. And they were going to use the Guardians to like wage war upon the fuck Halo 5. Fuck that game. Fuck that game and its mother.
Oh, why? Why couldn't
so I don't know. I don't know how they're going to pick up certain plot beats with like I hope it's not Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, Jesus.
where it's like we realize the last entry was shit, so we got to change some things here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I heard you guys wanted Luke Skywalker to be Luke Skywalker. We know he's dead, but here's him as a ghost, like saying he was an idiot in Last Jedi. It's like, don't give me that, please.
It's like it's already too late.
Oh my god, yeah, far too late.
But so I mean. But from what I've seen, I'm optimistic because it seems like they're trying to almost go for a reboot here. They're going for a story, like a smaller personal story between Chief and this Marine, because it seems like this Marine is going to be the new Cortana in a sense in the role that he plays within the story.
Yeah, probably.
Because I mean that demo we saw was apparently several hours into the campaign.
Yeah. So I don't know, like. I'm still thinking about it. Like, what would they do with Cortana? Like, they can't not have her come in. That's like, I don't know. I genuinely have no clue. I'm at a loss for that.
They're obviously gonna hide it because I imagine it's a pretty big story beat that they're gonna wait until the game releases for us to experience it.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm certainly concerned myself. I miss when Cortana was like a good character. Now she's just like, I am AI God.
No, I like how Halo 4 had a pretty heartfelt story with Cortana.
Yeah.
And they were like had a pretty heartbreaking ending. And then in Halo 5,
lol JK.
Lol JK, I'm back.
Because like that moment's so powerful. Like at the end of 4, you're like, God damn, like she's gone.
Yeah, no, say what you will about Halo 4, but that ending was fantastic.
Oh yeah, I love him and Lasky on the ship afterwards. I like that moment.
So
a lot.
Good.
Which, by
so
the way,
good.
can fucking did you see the meme with Lasky? People want fucking Rambo Lasky or whatever. They're like, Lasky better be on in this Halo ring. He better have some reveal where he comes chopping out of the forest covered in brute blood, and he's like got like a bunch of like grunt skulls on his belt, and he's just like like because like Lasky's supposed to be some like he's supposed to be like a badass, but like you never see that. So like everyone's like, this is our chance to get like cool Lasky.
Man, I wonder what happened to the Infinity too.
Apparently it got blown up or something.
Yeah, I saw this. There was this like moment in, I believe it was the gameplay trailer where Chief was looking at, I guess all these UNSC name tags, and they were just all deceased.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping they explain what happened there because apparently we lost a war against the Banished.
Yeah,
recently.
I guess so.
And I hope we explain how Chief got to outer space from the ending of Halo 5.
I I don't know. I don't know. Like, did you play Halo Wars 2?
I didn't. No,
See,
I
I
didn't.
didn't either. So I'm not. I honestly, I don't know. I heard the story is honestly like decent in it, but like,
Yeah, no, I've heard the same thing.
I just don't. I don't know like the timeline in Halo Wars 2. That's another thing. But I know I know that it's present. It has at least at one point it takes place during like present day with like the
Mhm.
brutes and they find the flood and whatnot. So like I don't know if like you kind of need to play Halo Wars 2 to like kind of know at least a little bit about I mean obviously the Banished are the main characters in that game, so like you should probably play it just to know at least what the Banished are. But
Well,
like
thankfully they did say like, don't worry if you don't know anything about the Banished, because like they said they're creating a game here they're going to try and be approachable pretty much with everyone.
yeah.
So I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I probably am at some point going to look into like the Halo Wars 2 cutscenes just so I have some context.
Yeah. I think I am too. I've seen like or not a trailer, a cutscene from that game, and it looks really cool. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm not disinterested. I don't know. I'm not wild about Halo Wars. I like the first one. I played the demo of the second one and wasn't crazy about it. That's why I never got back into it or anything. But
RTS games are just not my thing.
yeah.
I have uh I have attention span of peanut, so I just need to shoot things. Uh,
Peanut.
but all right. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
Like I was trying to think like the rest of the fucking trailer. I mean, like what else really was there? Like honestly, like I mean, I like how they're okay. I mean, it might just be reiterating, but I'm glad that they are trying to focus on the sandbox. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
sandbox, art design, music, and like hopefully we get a decent story. I mean, those are like the main things for me. Graphics, it's probably gonna look great. That's the thing. It sucks because it's like we don't see that now. I assume it'll look amazing, but if it doesn't and the game is really good anyway, I don't think I'll really even care that much.
Yeah, no, I won't mind much, honestly. Like, even if the game doesn't look great, at the end of the day, like you said, it really is about the sandbox. It's about the story. It's about the music.
Yeah.
It's about the gameplay. And from what I'm seeing, I'm optimistic so far.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, like final verdict, I'm not like after watching this, I'm not sitting here like fuck. Like god damn it. Like I'm optimistic. Yes, that's a good word. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more to maybe make a better opinion on it. I wasn't wowed by it, but at the same time, my fancy has been quite tickled and I want more. I want it to tickle me more. Please. Please. Show me.
Yeah,
more.
it wasn't like my shock of after seeing Halo 5's first few levels where I was like, "Oh no.
Oh no.
Halo's dead."
Can we get a sweet intro like in Halo 5, like an Avengers intro, but it's just
Oh.
I hate that shit, dude. It's so goofy. That people think it's like there's
Tracking gear online? Affirmative. Oh, thank you for that dialogue.
Affirmative. People don't think it's a big deal. That opening cutscene literally shows everything wrong with Halo now.
It does, yeah.
Literally made the Covenant a joke. Like, it's so strange. I mean, we don't need to get into that. It's just so weird. So bizarre. Like, they really were like, man, this is what kids want, right? Like Avengers. Like they want Avengers, right? All right.
This is what the kids like nowadays.
Give us fucking
They like Iron Man.
fucking yeah. Literally flying around in a metal suit, making quippy one-liners. That's what Halo 5 is. Affirmative.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the future holds for Halo Infinite, but for now we'll we'll remain skeptical little boys about it, but
I'm both skeptical and optimistic.
yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you on that.
I think final verdict for me is ultimately it wasn't the showcase that got me very excited. It's the concept of it that got me excited, and all the outside material around it, like the articles and the campaign trailer, and like those things got me genuinely excited.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna start getting, as the months go by, we're gonna start getting more of this marketing that they're talking about.
God, I hope so.
And hopefully that shit will just be really good, like very memorable Halo marketing. That's how Halo marketing should always be. It's always been that way.
Yeah, because man, I want this to be the final Halo game. I want it to go out on a bang.
And if that's the case, we need emotional payoffs. We need crazy trailers that get you pumped to finish the fight.
Again
For the 4th time.
For the 50th fucking time.
Master Chief is back again. And this time he looks like how he did in Halo 3.
And you know it's like it makes no sense in the continuity, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but in all honesty, fuck 343 because they already did that in Halo 4. And then they're like, oh, but nanomachines. It's like, fuck the fuck.
Nanomachines, son.
Nanomachines, son. Like, doesn't Cortana say that she used like nanobots or some shit to like change his armor?
She was like, I updated your firmware, and I was like, okay, well,
firmware?
Why did the elites look fucking retarded then?
Did you update their firmware too?
Did you update their firmware, Cortana?
I thought we had a truce with the Covenant. It's like, yeah, I thought we did too, but then they decided to change.
What can happen in 4 years?
They decided to change the art style, so I don't know. Fucking strange. I'm happy though with how Chief looks. I think everyone is like.
Oh yeah.
Bring back the classic fucking look, dude. He just looks like a beast now. He doesn't look like a skinny little bitch like he did in 4 and 5. And that's exactly what he was. It was just like a skinny bitch in those games. They're like, look, he looks like a, he's like a dude in a suit. It's like, no.
I hope he doesn't move like a disabled old man like he did in the Halo 5 cutscenes where he was fighting Locke.
I saw a funny fucking video. It was like how the Halo 5 fight should have went, and it's literally just they cut out every moment that Locke ever hits Chief, and it's just Chief beating the fuck out of Locke, and then when he goes to plant the thing on his chest, he fucking hits him with it, and then it just cuts to his entire fire team getting blasted away. It's like, yep. That would have been better, unironically, if we got that goofy shit over what we did get.
Pretty much fucking anything we got over in Halo 5 would have been better.
Yeah. No more Halo 5. Let's
no more Halo 5.
Let's go back to when things were great. That's what is important here, because we want Halo to not die.
Be great again.
We want Halo to not die an ugly pile of shit. We want it to fucking be a magnificent ending. And even if Halo continues after this, like where we get like spin-off games or whatever, that's fine. But like, I agree, this should be the final Master Chief story. Like, just
all right. Well, on that note, is there anything else you want to bring up, or are we done here?
I think we're good.
All right.
It was
nice. It's nice talking to you about video games.
Is that what you were gonna say, or did I cut you off?
No, that's what I was gonna say.
I was just gonna say, it was nice talking to you about Halo. Halo's good, but Halo's not good sometimes, and we see
Halo's good except when it isn't.
And hopefully it can make little fanboys like us happy again, and feel like we're young again, and that's what we need here. So please, 343, answer the call. Make us happy again. Make the Halo fans proud that they bought a Halo game for once. Or sorry, for once in a long ass time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's been a lot of successful like spiritual reboots in games recently, so I'm hoping this is it for Halo.
I think you're right.
And I don't know if you want to. I hope we get more stuff soon, and I'd be completely down to do another thing like this where we discuss it.
Yeah, we can do a follow up if we get this rumored whatever the fuck, more gameplay, more trailers, whatever it is, we can cover it here, and hopefully it'll all be good, but we'll see, I guess. But I guess that's all. So yeah, I guess we'll talk to the people later or something. How do you end a video? I didn't go to school for that. Did you go to school for that?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna wait, and maybe I'll end the video in 10 seconds. I don't know.
Be sure to keep this in, by the way.
I'm keeping it in. This is the ending. This is how you know it's the ending. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.